Hello, this is George from Timber Graphics, and in this tutorial we will learn how to create a circle burst animation. Circle bursts are widely used in the world of motion graphics, and almost any project could look miles better once you add these to it. And the beautiful part about this is that you could create your own burst animation, save it as a template, and keep reusing it as many times as you like in your different projects, but more on that in a different video. Now let's get going and start with creating a new composition. Let's call it burst, and for the dimensions we're going to set 240 by 240 pixels, and for the rest you can leave it the same pretty much and press OK. Once we're here, let's bring gap title action safe to see the center point. Then select the pen tool, make sure your fill is set to none and your stroke is set to solid color, and choose the width of 8 pixels should be fine. Let's draw a line like so. So the first point will be here, and the second point will be around here. Make sure you hold Control so you get a straight line. And let's rename this to line to stay organized. Okay, then select your line and align it horizontally. Then click the drop down for it and add a repeater. Then let's open the properties of the repeater and set the number of copies to 4. Then open the transform properties of the repeater 1, and for the position, set it to 0. Then for the rotation value, set it to 90 degrees. This is what we'll have after doing that. So the next thing we need to add is, again, go to add here and add trim paths. Then expand the properties of trim paths 1. Go to the beginning of your timeline, create keyframes for start and end, and make sure to set both values at 0, then go to 1 second and set both values to 100, so the start and end to 100. Then go to beginning of your timeline and go 4 frames forward, 1, 2, 3, 4. Select the end keyframes and offset them by those 4 frames by aligning the first keyframe with this blue pointer. If you preview this right now, yeah, this doesn't really look all that great. So the next step would be to select all the keyframes, press F9, go to the graph editor, then select these 2 points and drag the handle all the way to the left, and then this handle all the way to the right. Select both, make sure you select both keyframes, drag the handle all the way to the right, creating these shapes. Then exit the graph editor. So if you preview this right now, this looks exactly what we need it to be. You can go one step further and open the shape 1 properties, go to stroke 1, and for the line cap, set it to round cap instead of back cap. This will make it rounder, it'll look cleaner, in my opinion. You don't have to, but that would be my suggestion. So this is what we have now. The next step would be to create a second burst, a second wave that would push our first burst outside. So this is very simple now. Select the line, press Ctrl+D to duplicate it, and go 4 frames forward from the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and offset the line 2 by those 4 frames by aligning it to the blue pointer. The next step would be to select line 2, hold Control and double click this pan behind tool to center the anchor point. Then press R for rotation and set the value to 45 degrees. And if we preview this right now, this is what we'll have. All right, a bit slower. You can see as soon as the second burst expands, it sort of like pushes the first one out. So at this point, our burst animation is complete. And of course, you can go ahead and experiment with all the tools that you have. You can make it thicker, you can make a different color, you can make it square instead of rounded if you like to do so. And for the demonstration purposes, let's just change the color of the second burst. So select line number 2. Let's choose a nice red color like that. And let's change the first as well. Why not? Set it to something like, I don't know, green. Why not? So now your bursts are different colors. And you can see that how they overlap. So if you don't want that effect, just make it like that. So put the first line above the second on your timeline so they don't overlap in a weird way. So this is what you have now. And the beautiful part about this is what I said at the beginning. You can save this burst as a template and keep reusing it as many times as you want in your different projects. Now, this is especially useful if you're doing a lot of different work. It doesn't have to be motion graphics or motion design work. This can be used in many different scenarios. And of course, I'll demonstrate you right now. Let's create a new composition, but this time let's put a proper full HD. You can do 4K or 2K, doesn't really matter. It's up to you. I'll just use a full HD one. Okay, create it. Then what we can do is we could drag our burst into the timeline, and you can see that we have a burst now. So we could select it, duplicate it, and just create different copies like that. Yep, you can see we've duplicated like 7 times, and you can see that the burst is like too long. So if you don't want that, we could go into burst, press U to reveal all the keyframes, find the last keyframe here, press N to select the endpoint, and then right click here and click trim comp to work area. So if we go to main cut right now, you can see that these are trimmed down. So next step will be to offset them randomly, just like that. You know, you don't try to be all that symmetric and stuff. Just randomly throw them around, and this is the effect you'll get. All right, and the beautiful part about this again is that you can create these big templates containing like multiple bursts like that, like you see right now. You can save this as a template as well. And in case if you need to add a lot of burst, a lot of movement to your project, you can do that within just a couple of clicks. And by the time you watch this video, I'll have a tutorial on that uploaded to my channel. So I'll link a video while you're watching, so you can go ahead and check it out and learn how to create a template and actually just easily import that into your project. So if you're interested, of course. And yeah, it's that simple. Also, you can go ahead and add a new adjustment layer. And for the adjustment layer, you could add selector and go to effects and presets and search for glow. And just add a stylized normal glow to the adjustment layer. And what you can do, select the glow, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. And for the glow too, set the glow radius to something like 160. And if you preview this right now, you see that they are glowing in real time. And of course, you can make any sort of amount of changes you like. The cool effect would be to search for drop shadow and add drop shadow to the adjustment layer, but bring your drop shadow above both glow effects. Then expand the drop properties for drop shadow, set opacity to 100, and set distance to 0, and softness to something like 12. And for the color, you can choose, I don't know, let's choose a green color, or actually let's set it to white. And this will create a very unique glow effect that looks very beautiful in my opinion. And of course, maybe white and red don't really go that nicely together, but you know, you can see where I'm going with this. You can experiment for hours and hours and create something that you like most. At this point, our tutorial is complete. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.